Hey, this is Chris from Kitex. I'd like to show you how to replace one of these. We call this the trim spinner. And this is because it trims the blades. We have these small spur gears here that can change the position of these pegs here. And that can change the dynamics of the rotor blades and the pitch angles. So when you get your turbine, this has been adjusted to your specific blades and everything has been calibrated. But let's dive into how to change it. So the first thing you want to do is take the end cap here off, the string tightener. So the tool you need is a 2.5 millimeter hex square. It can be this, or it can be an Allen key, like this. It doesn't really matter that much. So you can better see, let me just pop it up here in the vise. I'm using some soft jaws. And then you have the bolt down here. I'm just gonna untighten this. Then I can slide this whole thing off. And we can also take the thing off for the blades. All right, next up, we want to change these parts here. So the first thing that we want to do is to take the belt, loosen the belt. And for this, there is also 4 bolts. You can see in here, there is a bolt down here that clamps on the belt itself. So we take this off. Oops. And put it to the side. Then what we want to do is that we'll take the belt here and slide it out. You should notice when you slide it out and in, also especially when you want to mount it again, that we slide it in the proper tooth and teething. So let me take it out here. Just slide it to the side, and now it's loose. And that's one side of the belt, and then we do the other side of the belt. Yes, and the same here. I just slide the belt out like this. Now the belt is loose on this side, but there's also a belt on the underside of it. The thing here to avoid is to not pull the belt completely out of the where the stepper motors are located. If you do this, you would have to install the belt again inside of the pulley here. And the trick to do this is using the 4 bolts here and take the whole stepper assembly off. That's the easiest way, if you happen to do that. Just be mindful, keep the belt like this. It's the easiest thing. Then let's flip this around. Oops. And here you can see the underside. And sorry about all the noise, we are in the workshop here. And sometimes these can be a little bit hard to grab. So you can use a pair of snub-nose pliers. All right. Undo the belts here, and undo it here as well. And again, this one is a little bit easier to install, but on the other side we have the rain cover on it. But you just leave the belt in here like this. All right. And now we can take the 2 rings off. Like so. And say this is the place, this is the part that we want to replace, so we put that aside. So I take my new one here, and now it's important to place this in the right orientation. So the first thing that I'll do is I have the up orientation for the tower here. You can see, I mean, this is where it normally is mounted to the tower, and that faces this is sort of the up direction, right? So let's put it up like this in the vise. And then what we have here is we have some arrows here and the letter that sets up. So this is very important to remember, to have these arrows pointing upwards. So when I install it, I make sure the orientation here is up and my arrows are pointing up. And I just slide this on here. And also you want the arms sticking out in this direction. You don't want to install it like this. This is the wrong way. Install it like this. You can sort of imagine that the blades points out like this, right? And then we have the, we call this is the passive spinner, the other spinner ring, and it has a similar system where there are arrows that says up. So you also want to do that. And it has one more thing. It has markings on the back here where it says face gear. So this is the side that is going to face the gear. So gear side, point that to the gear, arrows are pointing up, and slide that on. Good. Let me move the rings down to the belts and put it on again. All right, if you come and have a closer look here. So now what we want is take the lower belt and thread that all the way through. Maybe if you step over here and then film it from this side. There's a channel in here, like in this direction. This is the place where you want to thread the belt through. So I just push that through and push that through. There we go. All right, now we have it. Now we have the belt sort of aligned in the right direction. You can, and then we want to slide. Let's take the top belt. The top belt which goes to this one. It's in the same level as well. So what we want is take it in here from the side, and then you want all of the teeth engaged in there. I don't know if you are able to see that there are sort of some teeth in there that is locking them. So you can barely notice the teeth are in there. All right. So I'll slide in the belt here. And what I don't want it to sticking out like this. I want it to be just right. There we go. And then it can be an advantage just to use your Allen key to sort of push it in a little bit. And then I have it in. No, not yet. There we go. On this end, I want to have it over, all the way over to the side. Push the belt all the way over. And that's it for that. We do the same for this belt. And we can push everything up a little bit to give us a little bit more room to work. And this is also going to be tricky. So belt in. This is too far out. This is not enough. This is too far out this way. And this is sticking out too much into the bearing, so we just want it there. Oops. And engage the teeth. And push it in. Maybe use your tool to help it along. And we check the alignment up here, where it's sitting, and that looks good. Great. Now we just want to take 2 bolts and grab the square nut in there. And I'm not looking to tighten it down like a lot. I can use 2 fingers. And that should be enough. What I'm looking for is just that the face over here sits sort of flush down there. Then this is enough force to hold it because we had the geometry in there. Second one. Let's flip it over. There we go, that looks... Was that enough? No, that was not enough. I missed a few teeth. So I'll just try again. I'm actually done with this. I'm just gonna test how everything looks and feels. And this feels nice. I can take the 2 rings, put a little bit of tension on the bells, and everything is gliding along nicely. Great. Lastly, we will just put on this. So this one has to face the threads here. So that goes to the end. Slide that on. And then we mount this one. This one has some, there is some bolts in here that has to line up with the threads or with this cut in the boom. So slide that on. And then lastly, and it's a little bit important one, is that when you're facing this thing here, the bolt here, there's a cut in this part here that sort of clamps down, and you want the cut here facing to one of the sides of the boom. So this is fine. This is facing to the side. You can also install it like this. That would also be fine, but I'm going to install it like this so I can see where it is. And this one I'm tightening a little bit more, but then it's on there. And that's how you change the trim spinner on the wind catcher.